When people hear that Lord Krishna had 16,108 wives, many either mock it as mythology gone wild or take it literally, without understanding the spiritual, historical, and symbolic depth behind it. But this number is not random, nor is it a tale of lust or indulgence. It is a reflection of Krishna's divine compassion, his understanding of societal cruelty, and his role as a protector of Dharma. To understand why Krishna married so many women, we must travel back to Dwapar Yuga, a time when demons roamed the earth and societies were plagued with rigid, judgmental norms. One such demon was Narakasura, a powerful Asura king who ruled Pragjyotishpur, a kingdom filled with terror. He kidnapped 16,100 women, mostly princesses and noblewomen, from various kingdoms, imprisoning them in his palace. These women were not taken for marriage or love, but as trophies of war, held against their will, humiliated, and forgotten by their own people. In ancient times, a woman's purity and honor were tied to patriarchal standards. Even if they were kidnapped, society labeled them as impure. Their families, instead of protecting them, abandoned them. No king, no man would accept them back. These women were still not free, society didn't want them. Their homes were closed, their futures were erased. They were alive, but socially dead. Understanding this, Krishna did something extraordinary. He married all of them. Not out of desire, but to give them back the dignity the world had stolen. He gave them status, a name, a life. In one divine act, he shattered society's stigma. But people often misunderstand this act. They ask, how can one man marry 16,108 women? Is this not immoral? Is this not indulgence? But Krishna is not bound by the limits of mortal beings. He is considered a Purna avatar, a complete incarnation of Vishnu, the divine preserver. He is not driven by human desires, but by cosmic compassion. Among these 16,100 wives, only 8 were his principal queens: Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati, Kalindi, Mitravinda, Nagnajiti, Padra, and Lakshmana. These queens shared his life in Dwaraka, bore him children, and played key roles in his worldly duties. With them, Krishna lived a householder's life, balanced with love, responsibility, and joy. The rest, the 16,100 rescued women, were given separate palaces and treated as royal consorts, but there are no records or scriptures that describe Krishna having physical relations with all of them. In fact, many scriptures explain that Krishna expanded himself into multiple forms through his yogic powers so that he could be present in each palace simultaneously, participating in rituals, conversations, and emotional companionship without ever being bound to the physical or carnal. This itself is a metaphor for his divine nature. He is with every devotee, everywhere, all the time. The number 16,108 isn't just literal, it's symbolic. In Hindu philosophy, 108 is a sacred number. There are 108 Upanishads, 108 beads in a mala, 108 energy lines converging in the heart chakra, and 16 is associated with completeness, like the 16 kalas or attributes of a perfect being. When combined, 16,108 reflects divine completeness connecting to all forms of feminine energy. So when Krishna marries 16,108 women, it's not just a worldly act, it's a spiritual statement. He embraces all forms of the feminine, all lost voices, all shamed souls. His love doesn't discriminate between a queen and a prisoner. He shows the world that true divinity uplifts those whom society discards. In fact, if we look closely, Krishna's whole life challenges social norms. He was born in a prison, raised by cowherds, befriended the poor, played with outcasts, ate with the lowest of society, and yet kings bowed before him. He never sought validation from society. He created his own rules, rooted in justice, love, and equality. The story of Krishna's 16,100 wives is also a lesson in Dharma. In a world where a woman's worth was judged by her physical purity, Krishna showed that inner dignity is what truly matters. He stood against mass rejection with mass acceptance. His actions were not for self-gain, but for social healing. Even today, when women are shamed for their past, judged for abuse they suffered, or discarded for things beyond their control, Krishna's act reminds us that every human deserves love, respect, and a chance to live with pride. But society often doesn't want such messages. That's why people twist Krishna's story, mock it, or reduce it to memes. But truth doesn't change based on people's ignorance. Krishna's love was divine. His marriage was a revolution. He didn't take women into his palace to satisfy his ego. He took them into his heart to restore their soul. And what's even more beautiful is that none of these women are ever described as competing with each other. There's no jealousy, no war between queens, no internal politics. Why? Because Krishna didn't build a harem. He built a sanctuary, a safe space, a divine family where each woman was honored, not owned, where each soul was seen, not used. This is hard for modern minds to grasp, because we project our human limitations onto the divine. We assume Krishna behaved like a mortal king. But Krishna is not just a historical figure. He is a symbol, a truth, a force of love that refuses to leave anyone behind. And this story, it's not about numbers. It's about the 16,108 second chances he gave to women whom the world had already written off. It's about the infinite love that refuses to see sin in suffering. So next time someone mocks this story, ask them, what's more divine? Marrying one woman for desire, or marrying 16,108 for dignity? Krishna's life was never about what he took. It was always about what he gave. And in this story, he gave the most precious thing,